All right. My name is Beta Rock, and together we can change the world. I hesitate there a little bit to be all positive because I don't know. Life is not, I'm not sure how this is going to come out, but I think I got something to say here. So taking a minute to say it, bouncing ideas off of different people. Basically, I guess the idea, well, let's do the prayer. This is a biblical text, John 3:8. The wind blows wherever it pleases. You hear its sound, but you cannot tell where it comes from or where it is going. So it is with everyone born of the Spirit. This then is my prayer. Lord, may I be your wind here now in Jesus' name. Amen. So I was walking around my kitchen just a minute ago and thought, man, I need to tape this. I got fire here to say these things. And I don't even remember what I was thinking at the time, but basically, I don't know, let's say 12 hours ago, maybe a little longer. You know, I'm an emotional 10 all the time. And really that's not totally true, but it is in the sense of the idea, like if you do the 8 dimensions of wellness, do you think on the 8 dimensions of wellness? It still sits there. It's been something I think I've had essentially from the beginning of my ideas into Beta Rock Church, that this defines holiness. This is a good metric. 8 dimensions of wellness. And I could email you the list, okay, to go through the definitions. But emotional wellness, as the Sam Hasha people define. But yeah, I think they do get the credit for this part. I've made my own list and I emailed it to a non-Christian friend, and he liked it. So it works. It goes. Hey, uh, but the idea to be emotional 10 means that you're not happy all the time, but you are able to recover into health, emotional health, well. And even now, just I could probably look on my phone right now. I got a buzz, and it might be from him. This guy that I forget. I met. I know how I know him. He was in a Christian apologetics group on Facebook, and we said hi. And it's been probably 2 months now that from the first hello till now, and that's nice. I mean, my relationships. I went from 700, let's put that in the bad side, 700 fake Facebook friends to, a handful of good ones. And in this process, once I kind of got this in my head, I was gangbusters into getting to 12 good friends. And I'm still doing this. But in the process of development, say, it's taken time. People have been a little overwhelmed by in a world cultism where we just like and we fake around into the real genuine deal. Okay, uh, it's been interesting, and somewhere along those say that time span was 2 or 3 months, 2 or 3 months, yeah. And then maybe about halfway through, or a little more than half, I kind of got in my mind like, hey, this isn't just something that you can pick up. This is a time dynamic. Okay. There's something that just can't be undone. This is about emotional health. This is about girding up our loins. It's about staying mentally healthy. And we'll see how this goes. I've preached on this before. Joyce Meyer preaches into this. The battlefield of the mind is. But as I was getting down in the dumps, I mean, I was on a diet and still am. I weighed myself yesterday. I'm back to what I was 2 weeks ago, kind of, which is still good. I mean, essentially that was after like a whole. Oh my goodness! I mean, I didn't quite eat a whole large Pizza Hut. What was it? Buffalo chicken. Oh my, like sometime a year or so ago, I did this very thing because I thought about it at work anyway. It's been lingering, and I went and got the thing. And I mean, I was eating and eating, and finally I'm like, okay, I'm not going to eat the last piece. And it wasn't just a small, it was a relatively big piece, but oh man, it was so good. So, I mean, that was what, 3,000, I don't know, 3,000 calories right there. It's like a pound, like boom. And I'm smiling, but it's not funny. I mean, there was something that was getting at me. I was playing my township mobile game, just in this guy. So I mean, this is my story, but what I like about what I want to say here is that this guy from the UK was saying kind of the same things, and this other lady that I was talking to, she and I've known her for a bit, so it was saying the same things. And this one lady from way back that's not even in my friend spectrum, not necessarily because she's on my list actually. But it got get maybe but some of that is like, look, there's something here with dynamics and things, but to be steady, to be ever in the good side, to be steady and loyal to people, no matter what. I mean, unconditional love and these kinds of things. That's what I can control. People and trust and all these things and dynamics. When I was running yesterday, hopefully this comes across clear. John MacArthur's my go-to guy. I mean, really, maybe Charles Stanley's the one that really to emotional health. I like listening to him. He's strong, but unlike MacArthur, he's not as sharp. He'll still be a nice, gentle shepherd. Okay. Although MacArthur did have a good lesson. In fact, I have the notes here. I typed them up from something that he did, where this mind idea, keeping your mind, the battlefield of the mind. Joyce Meyer's book there is just the title is correct, even though she's going to hell for speaking in church. Okay. That's some of what gets me all kind of twisted around. I mean, do we really believe this Bible? Do we really believe this? I do. But it's hard in ways, because when I look around and see how many people don't do it, and then I'm like I'm the last samurai. And that gets me, I'm just telling you, that gets me tied up into these emotional places that hurt a bit. Anyway, but that's my story. But again, these other people are sharing things into their things, and this zombie living, that was a quote that I remembered. And this other lady that she's so she's so, it's like, she thinks this is how it works, but she'll post, there's the word meme, that's such a ridiculous word, memes. And she'll post that and so that somehow, she even said that once, like, that doesn't mean I'm saying it. Like, no, I'm attributing exactly what that Mimi says to what you really say. So she thinks that because she puts in a Mimi, it somehow blocks. I mean, I'm just posting this random. No, you're talking here. Anyway, I wrote her back and I said, so, because this, I mean, again, this has been a several month relationship. And she said, people share what I had said. I said, I'd like what you say. I think it's really on point, and a lot of depressing things that aren't happy, things that go against world cultism's drive to happy. So yeah, anybody can muster. Like yesterday, I went to Giant to get groceries. This is just where I think all the time now, that the lady that I had, it was this little thing that was happening. I was checking out, and it was at the end, and 3 or 4 different things happened. She was always nice and handled it. And because I paid attention to her, it then opened up an actual semi-relationship here at Giant. But it's still nothing. It's still flimsy. It's still, listen to me, it's still nothing in the real world. Into how I used to think, if you can follow all this, I would have thought, oh, this was a wonderful person. I don't know anything about this lady, so it doesn't even mean anything other than that I was participating into something here that was flimsy, but I would have used to think this was something trustworthy and reliable, or something that now's a trusted friend. No, this is not how this works. She's getting paid to do a job. And part of that job in world cultism is to be friendly. That was her damn job. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that I can trust that she's actually nice. She's getting paid to be nice. World cultism is very powerful. We do life, liberty, and the pursuit of what? Happiness. Happiness is not a biblical ideal. Joy, shalom, peace, these kinds of things, yeah. But happiness, it's not that God doesn't want us to be happy. But when that becomes a driving thing, no. If anything, the reading that I've been done along, is of late, because I'm, I want to be happy. But where that becomes the driving thing, and we can act into these places, again, as my mind bounces, trusting the wind here. Some days back, I posted this thing about this 3-year-old kid who was doing this worship thing, and it was fake. Ugh. And that, listen to me, can I get any closer? That's what I believe. People, and this is what my Bible devotions were saying. We should count it all joy in our suffering. And here in these times of pain is when we really find out our character and the character of others. Right, exactly. That's what I'm doing with these people. And boy, it's a common theme. I see it. For me to just stay patient into the midst of this, hey, look, we had a nice exchange of giant. Okay. And now I'm going to push you when you're not getting paid to do your job. When I find out who you are, and I think people really pervasively, people die here. The zombie lady, these comments, it's a pervasive theme that I believe people aren't allowed to be themselves. Now, this is a battlefield. So what do I do here? This guy that I could look here, maybe I will, to see what he wrote back, because we were really relating now, 2 or 3 months into this, because he had said something that I grabbed on. We had a giant experience, a giant crash. Hey, look, we had a shared thing here. It was kind of nice. But then it softens. Like, wait, hey, why don't we keep going? All I can tell you is that I like how my face looks there. Like, people need time. And I don't know that I do. I want to get to the fire and figure it the fuck out. Okay. Are you a trustworthy 12? I got stuff to do. Let's get going. And that's really not right. That's not really right necessarily. Whatever, God. That's what I say to you here, to hear what I'm saying in my prayers. But then who are these people? And I've been now circling around again with people, what I can do. And again, I coached this in, preached this into, counseled, shepherd, whatever you want to say, pastored into a good friend. Just stay patient and calm. We can't control what other wacko, strange things that other people do. That's on them. Okay. What we can do is be reliable, dependable, loving, trustworthy, holy, and good. And I'm finding that to be fruitful and interested now because I want to continue to advance my 12 good friends. I'm seeing it a little. We'll see. Seed, time, and harvest. Joyce Meyer, she going to hell. Okay. She a good preacher. Things that she said. I listened to what, 10,000 of her sermons? I mean, it just comes to mind. I thought about this at work. Even if I believe she's going to hell and I don't listen to her anymore, I can't take away 10,000 sermons. It has impacted America's pastor. Hey. Anyway, so this is just background. What I want to shift to now is to really say something to you, not do my brain dump here, but to hopefully then take this and say, look, what are some things here? I said to my UK friend, this guy, who I could look here to see, because we were connecting today, same things, but again, it's him and this other lady and this other lady and another lady and another lady that I'm fishing into this place. Can we find a calm? Yes, that's what I wrote. I said, look, I'm an emotional 10 out of 10 all the time. I got bumped back a little bit here, but I have techniques. I mean, even in the counseling papers, what do you do? They've asked that in the summary things. Maybe that's why it sits with me. I don't know. Maybe. But what do you do when you're in these down places? Like the lady that you can stay zombie and then you live a life of distraction. That's terrible. I refuse to effing do that. I mean, I could, yeah. I mean, we got time that ticks. I got a wristwatch this week and it ticks and it's reliable. If this is about a second to tick 1,000, so you can either engage life and as the ticks go by, or you can zombie out, or it works for world cultism. Just always put happy pictures on Facebook and never really engage and live in zombie land, which doesn't, it does work kind of, except you're dead. Okay. I don't want to do that. And I don't think that a lot of people want to do that. I think they want to live vibrant, alive lives. To talk into that terrain. It's like speaking another language. It is. It's speaking Holy Bible language into a world cultism reality. Oh, living water. What is this? And this is the preacher here. This is something that can be embraced. And I'm breathing into this and watching it, see how it ministers to people. I don't want to be Steve Furtick, who takes something and puffs it up and gets. I saw somebody posted about him having $5 million. I couldn't read it. I think he says his net worth is $5 million. I got $5. Negative. I want to be a pastor that says things that are cutting edge and holy, not repeating what other people say, looking at a situation and saying something that's on point and different. I don't need to regurgitate what other people are saying. I want to look here and say, what is God wanting to say into a depraved world? This is one of these things. Listen, okay, maybe this is the thesis. We can do this. You can do this. The lady that is in depression, the zombie lady who doesn't listen. Maybe I'll say hi to her again. This guy. Look, we are overcomers. The Bible does speak to this. Guess what? Take heart. In this world you will have trouble. Take heart. I have overcome the world. It's Jesus talking, right? Hey, listen, we are in a constant battle here, the battlefield of the mind, but it's a battle that we should fight. And we can win. I might be down in the dumps for this. Has been not. I wasn't really down in the dumps. I want to be a little clear here, but it wasn't, and I wasn't at a superly wonderful place. And really what I was then trusting into was other things that weren't God's holy divine goodness. God is jealous. These patterns that I already know. Now I know how to get myself back into this. Listen to Charles Stanley for 12 hours. I didn't take 2 of these and call him in the morning. I took like 12 of these and listened to it all night long. And again this morning. Might listen to it again. I downloaded something else about it to stay in that place. Sometimes I pause here before I do beta rock messages because I don't want to repeat myself. But at the same time, here it comes one, because even though this is somewhat of a repeated lesson, I think that this, I study into Revelation. I need to learn Revelation. I've made a commitment to that. I'm enjoying. There's a part of this that's enjoying it. I'm telling you the truth of my mind. But there's some kind of devotional place, maybe the worship of God. I see that into the jealous God idea. And of course, God, I mean, this is me talking out loud a little bit here. I'm not totally sure of this, but I could imagine God saying, look, I'm happy. Of course, I like Revelation. I wrote it through John, or however you might think this. But I care about you as a person more than I care about the insights and the learning and the facts that you're going to learn by looking at Revelation. I don't know. I just am telling you that I think I was distracted into my relationship with God by studying Revelation. It has to be done kind of as a job thing versus as the soul and the heart and the person of Dwayne Sollenberger that God loves the most. And I was kind of dishonoring that, and it had a price. Are we good here? Again, the encouragement, the preaching is that, look, unlike my girl space friend who was saying things like, look, I basically, the way I take it is she refused to distract herself. That's good. I'm depressed. I don't care what you say. That is my reality. This is what she would be saying. Okay, in the calm, behind a meme, because it's hard to be authentic. Okay, even though I can tell plainly that you're telling the truth, that's good. But I said to her, look, if people are saying to you, like I'm saying to you, that you're saying things that are speaking to me and speaking to others, you're tapped into this undercurrent of holiness. Okay. Now we need to be encouragement here. Right. That could be step one. Tell the truth. Tell the goddamn truth. New Psalm 1:1. True Face, John Lynch. Tell the truth. But then to heal and to rise above, to, what is the Bible thing here? Soar on the wings like eagles, right? The power of God played out in our lives. The living water that people will crave. That makes life full, healthy, and good. The things that put Steve Furtick so far in the background of everything right. I don't listen to him. I can't. I've tried twice in life, and I probably won't anymore, ever. He's terrible. But then to give people hope, look, right, we got to tell the truth. We got to break this down. But in this place, then, strength. How? Saturate your mind. Like this thing here says, how many verses? I mean, I could rip these off. I just came across this one here and wondered what this meant. Gird up the loins of your mind. Unfortunately, I'm not. I can't see my face now. I'm looking at this other screen on my computer, so you can see me. I can't see myself. I showed the picture. It's the thumbnail. It's not doing a lot for me. Maybe some kind of effort that it takes, or that there's a particular gathering of composing yourself, knowing. I mean, it's not terrible. It just doesn't super minister as much as more to the idea that really the idea was. Let's see if this one in here. What did it do? Not the renewing Romans 12. Is that what I studied? Let me see if it's on my phone here, because I studied this word and I like this. 2 Corinthians 3:15. Is that in here? Let's see if I can find that one. Bear with me. This won't be boring for too much longer here. 3. Huh, that's weird. I think that's just what came up. Let's see if I push back. What does that do? Romans 12. Okay, that makes more sense. Romans, which is the very first one. This is what my mind was again. Look, I got to renew my mind. Even though I've done beta rock messages, I want to repeat myself. It's just kind of some of the things that were happening. Romans 12. I still need to do this, and I think that everybody does. This is a battlefield. This just happens all the time. And if we don't tend to it, we don't stay emotional 10. I mean, I can't even believe that you would be emotional 10. I've had to work at this, and I don't believe that people even know how to do it. What am I saying here? Tell the truth. Break down. Don't live like a zombie. And then and friends are part of this. Not a base, though. God is to be trusted, not relationships. Ever. It's still always secondary to God. Spending time with God. Anyway, this is the word. So what does this mean? Renewing. And I like this. And be not conformed to, and that's not it. That's not what my mind was, even though that's the verse. Be not conformed to this, and that's not that it's not true, but transformed by the renewing of your mind. What did that mean? Renewing. So I looked it up. Anakinosis is the Greek, and anaknosis. Okay, renewing, a renewal or change of heart in life. And that isn't necessarily let's see what else it said here. I mean, it's not that it's wrong. I'm just trying to tell you where I was really thinking here and where my mind is finally at with this, or what I want you to think about with me. Okay. Completing a process to make fresh, new. Okay, so that's more. A new development, a renewal, renewing. Let's see other words here. I think let's see if it comes out better here. Renovation. That's really what made me think. So, like somebody like me, that what do you say when you're Mennonite? You can rub 2 quarters or nickel or some kind of. Is there a saying about that? You can bleed out a nickel or something because we're cheap. That's not. But then, why would people get a new outfit? I mean, I've been wearing this shirt, so this is not apply. I mean, maybe I need a minister to hear, but into the mindset, the same idea of people that like to be fresh in their clothing or fresh in their house or things like this, where I would say, "Oh, that's not worth it," and I'm not saying I'm right here, but to my mind, I'm like, that's the idea. The house gets old. It's not that it doesn't work, kind of, but we need to be refreshed here. We need to be renewed. You already know all the Bible things, but we need to tear it down and build it up again. There's a transformed by the renewing of your mind. Is that good? That's what I needed to do. Not trust into, I got it. My house is built. Done with that. In my mind, the house of my mind's house. Is this clear? It needs constant attention. Even from somebody like me, that's a 10 out of 10. I'm telling you that this is something that doesn't just get done and we're done. It's a renewing of all the time, knowing that and having tools to get out of it, like listening to Charles Stanley. And what do we do with YouTube? I think about that from time to time. I mean, YouTube is such a resource. What could have I done before the internet to find these unlimited resources into tending to my mind? I mean, David talks about that he studied God, and that's so I think there would have been places. It's not like this is but I surely do like it. People send, like this guy sent me a book thing. I said, I can't do books. I just can't. Maybe I could, but I certainly do like listening to YouTubes and these kinds of things. Anyway, are we done? I'm going to go run. Let's do a few verses and call it a Beta Rock message. Romans 12:2, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye, this is the King James takedown of renewing your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Philippians 4:8, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. Romans 12, we already did that one. 2 Corinthians 4:16, for which cause we faint not, but through our outward man perish. But though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. Philippians 4:6-7. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. Psalm 119:11. Thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against thee. I could go on. It makes me say, and we'll just stop here because we can be done. The thought has been delivered. When I sleep, YouTube does this. I recommend it. They eventually, YouTube designers or whatever, have me listening to Bible things in a lullaby kind of a way, but these verses are getting played again and again. This is the kind of stuff that it just feeds in there, and it does put me in good places. It does. I'll wake up. I think it impacts my sleep. I had a dream about some person that I can't even, I wrote that to a friend. I said, I can't even, what was my mind doing that I was thinking of this person? I mean, this person was so random. What? And I'm prayerful about it. What was my mind saying? But to give your mind place, your heart place to think on those things. What is happening here? Not to rush off. What's happening? What is my heart's call saying in these quiet, still places? What's communicating? Is God part of this? Dear Lord, help us to figure it out. Be with us. I guess thank you for being jealous. You are worthy of our affection and worship. In Jesus' name, amen.